What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it.
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
Woo. Second show of the week. It's the shoot around. All the leftovers and extra questions and topics we didn't get to on the Tuesday show, which, by the way, busting at the seams, the Tuesday show with NBA free agency. So if you're out of the loop or you want to get caught up, go check out the Tuesday show because there's a lot going on, as well as as well as a firm highlight of Rob's poor internet connection. So we did a good job putting that on display. We missed a national holiday. I didn't mention Tuesday. This past Monday, for all those who celebrate, Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Every year on the 1st of July, Bobby Bonilla gets set to collect $1.193 million from the New York Mets through the year 2035. That's
2035.
Yeah, it's about, by the way, for context, that's about $208,000 more than the base salary of 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy, who appeared in a Super Bowl last year. There's 11 years left on Bonilla's deal. He's got about $11.9 million left to the Mets. They've paid him thus far $16.7 million to not play in the 2000 season. So Bobby Bonilla going to keep getting paid. Now, I don't want to overlook some of the other people that get paid on July 1st, by the way. Max Scherzer is going to get $15 million every July 1st through 2027 from the Washington Nationals. Ken Griffey Jr.'s final deferred payment from the Cincinnati Reds went through on Monday. $3.59 million. He's the fifth highest paid player on the Reds roster. Ken Griffey Jr. And then, let's see, Manny Ramirez gets $2 million from the Red Sox through 2026. And the Orioles have a similar screwjob sort of a deal with Chris Davis. They owe him $9.8 million every year through 2025, and then $3.5 every year through 2032.
Damn.
So freaking Chris Davis is getting broke off for like the next decade or so. He signed a big deal a few years back when when he was slugging the hell out of the ball, and they've since moved on from him and moved his contract, but they owe him a lot of deferred money on his contract. I'm excited, by the way, for when we retire Bobby Bonilla Day and start to celebrate Shohei Ohtani Day. Because he's going to get broke off like, what, $60-something million a year from the Dodgers for 10 years after his career's over?
Yeah.
So whenever he hangs it up, this holiday will evolve. But sign me up for any one of these deals, by the way. You want to pay me not to play.
Yeah, but hey, back to the topic. Please let it be no state tax.
Yeah, I'm going to get that shirt made. I'm getting the shirt made. No state tax.
No state tax.
Question from Gavin. Can you guys please talk about the Kyle Filipowski story? The kid from Duke that apparently got brainwashed by an older woman to leave his family. And I hadn't seen a ton on this, so I did some homework. Here's the story, and I didn't know a lot about this. Duke center Kyle Filipowski, he was falling in the draft. The Jazz scooped him up early in the second round. Jonathan Givney from ESPN was on the air talking about teams flagged him because of his family situation. He's got an older girlfriend. He's 20. She's apparently 29. That's not crazy.
Older, yes, but
Except for the fact that they have a prom photo of him when he was 17 and she was about 25 or 26 years old.
Oh.
Going to the prom. According to the family, the girlfriend began a romantic relationship when he was in high school. They're accusing her of Mormon grooming, explaining she pulled Filipowski into her faith and separated him from his family at a young age. And to make matters more complicated, where does he get drafted? Utah. Like the capital of the Mormon church. That is a bananas ass story.
Yeah, it's like
if there's any truth to it.
Dancing with the Devil. Where you seen that one on Netflix?
No.
It's about all these TikTok famous dancers, and they join this cult almost about this guy who's telling them different things, and a lot of the kids got separated from their families, and they're not allowed to call their families and stuff like that. But this is a crazy story. Isn't this the same kid that got ran over when they stormed the court? It is. It's the kid they thought was going to get hurt because of the court storming. Yeah. Yeah, and to me, it's just at the end of the day, is he really that talented? You know, if we want to put something on, he failed because of the family situation. There's a lot more family situations out there that are crazy.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like,
think
how do you
about it.
how do
There's
you
some
not
guys
have
out
that?
there got gang affiliations, they got murderers in their families, and so on and so on. But I think this just boiled down to talent. He wasn't that damn good, so he failed the way he felt he's supposed to be.
Yeah, because I mean, how much of a role does that going to play with whatever he does for whatever team? He's going to get drafted for the Utah Jazz. Congratulations. Maybe because he's in Utah and that's the story. I don't know.
Well, that kind of falls in line with the same thing of even though Harrison Buckner already had a job.
This is true.
The
With
when
him
he was at
giving
the
the
commencement
speech.
at the
Yeah.
speech, so many people they put out petitions about the Chiefs. You need to cut him. You need to. Are you serious?
Yeah, arguably the best kicker in the NFL.
And do you know how many other dudes have done things way more heinous and have gotten second, third, and fourth opportunities? I really want people. There's one thing for you to disagree with somebody on their stance when it comes to something. It's another thing for you to want them to lose their job over it. That is the stupidest thing in the world. We live in such a stupid world.
Of course we do.
I mean, it's been stupid,
Because
but it's stupider by the day.
Not to take a shot at anybody individually, but where was the petition about Ray Rice? Because I don't remember seeing the petition about Ray Rice when he beat the shit out of his girlfriend in that elevator, and that video was all over the place. But you're going to petition a guy who just talked on his faith? Like, come on! Like this is like where are your priorities at?
You know, where's the microphone thing? Is it? I think it was the guy that played for the Lakers used to play all the time. You got to be the dumbest.
You got the dumbest. It was Kwame.
What was it?
It was Kwame. Where are you, Kwame? Oh no, that's the hell you talking
What the
about.
hell you
Yeah.
Boy, that applies too.
Yeah.
I don't think I have dumbest MFer in the league anymore up here. I got
Shut your bum ass up, man.
I got Josh Smith calling
That's
out
what they
everything.
need to do when they talk about he failed because of his family situation.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty stupid.
totally don't agree with that.
And then we making some older woman. Well, now look, I get it. When you said he was 17 and she was how
He
old?
was like 25, 26. That's honestly, if you're 25 or 26 years old,
you shouldn't be dating. You shouldn't be dealing
you don't
with
want
a
to
17.
be. You don't want to be at a high school prom. That's bad luck. That's a bad luck to say the least. But she can buy liquor for everybody. So hey,
I just have a feeling
Just
that
saying.
story doesn't get as much pub because it's not the other way around. Like if
the
it was a
older
25
guy
or
grooming.
26-year-old.
Oh my God!
Yes.
It would be a Dateline episode if it was the other way around. We talk
Yeah,
about-
he'd be called Drake. Oh, my bad.
Filipowski's wearing a Not Like Us shirt.
Y'all just threw that one across the plate. I had to Barry Bonds that thing.
Oh,
you threw that right across the plate. Sorry.
Goodness. My goodness.
Moving on.
All right. I feel like you and Shaq both owe Drake an apology. All right.
Look, I don't look. He knows Shaq. He don't know me.
This is true.
Hold on, I'm lost. What Shaq say?
Oh, Shaq posted a picture on Instagram.
Oh,
of,
yeah, I saw that.
It was like him, like holding. Was it Drake? Right?
So-
or like almost like a little child.
So apparently, this is a picture. The original picture is him, Shaq on a yacht with some girl that he was in the tabloids with some years ago.
And
when
she
Shaq was on
remember that,
vacation.
She was tiny.
Yeah. So they took the
Little.
girl's face off and put Drake's face on her
it.
body.
He posted it on Instagram.
And somebody else did it. He just took it and posted it. And so he went to apologize,
He had
quote
to
unquote, for that.
apologize to Drake for it. He had to come out and be like, "That's my bad.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that,
It was funny though.
but I would totally do it again." Of course you would. This episode of Big Shot Bob is sponsored by BetterHelp. I want to lean in very quickly here, talking about our friends, about something that's been going on the other side of my life. So I have another podcast, by the way. This isn't my only show. I do a show with 3 of my best friends from South Florida, and over the last 2 months, all 3 of them have lost a close friend to suicide in the last 3 months. So middle-aged guys that are just going through some stuff, that are just, I guess, bottling it up, not talking to anybody. And unfortunately, 3 of them, all individually, over the last 2 months, have lost somebody. So it is incredibly important that if you're in a spiral or you're caught comparing your life to other people or whatever the hell it is, social media has a big part in this. It's okay to talk to somebody, which is why we really like our friends at BetterHelp, because that is literally what they do.
You know, it can boil down just to simple things like learning to set boundaries or learning healthy coping skills, because there's so many people out there, especially men, who don't want to talk about what's happening. So if you ever thought about therapy or you need someone to talk to, please give our friends at BetterHelp a try. I'm telling you, BetterHelp can help. It's online, it's flexible to your schedule, whatever you want to do. Hey, I want to do it on a Monday or Wednesday, you can do it. It's easy, and trust us, it will help.
And it's actually very easy to get set up with them. It's a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime at no additional charge. So you find somebody that you're really comfortable with that helps you. And again, this is, guys, if there's anything you're sitting on, you have any reason to do it, it's time. So stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/BigShotBob, and they'll give you 10% off of your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/BigShotBob. Is it Noah Vonleh? I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Vonleh, yeah.
Vonleh? Okay, former New York Knick. He's playing for the Shanghai Sharks. Mm-hmm. He was all over social media this week because apparently the Shanghai Sharks and the Chinese Basketball Association, they've not paid him on his contract. They're lying about his injuries, according to him. And there's video of him on social sleeping in the lobby of a Shanghai hotel because they locked him out of his room. They wouldn't let him get into his room, so there's video of him on social media, and I'm not kidding, on a couch in the lobby with like a pillow and blankets and shit, and his chargers are all out, and he's sleeping in the lobby of a Shanghai hotel.
Yeah, that's the problem when you play for a foreign country.
I was going to say, man, you play in communist China? Yeah, you don't have a lot of freedom over there. My question, I guess, attached to that is, and I don't know if you can relate to this. What's the worst way you've been treated by an employer? I don't know if you've had a lot of bad employment experiences. Most of your employers were pretty favorable, I would imagine.
I thought the only one that really upset me was the situation that happened with the Lakers when I was when they had the option to either bring me back or let me go, and they waited after all the money had dried up, and they let me go like 2 days before the deadline. And that's the only time I felt like I was mistreated, when I asked them, because I knew going into that year that they weren't going to bring me back because I was going to make too much money in their eyes. And I was like, yo, just let me go now so I can find a home before the money dried up. And they're like, oh, no, it's not like that. And then 2 days before
it was
they
like
let me
that.
go. I'm like, that's wrong, man. For all the shit I've done for this organization, where's the loyalty at, man?
No, we talked about that on Tuesday, man. There ain't no loyalty in sports. The hell are you talking about? The hell you talking about?
I know, right? What the hell you
talking about? Where's Palmer?
The hell you talking about?
There ain't no loyalty in sports. Cubs pitcher Justin Steele went off on the Cubs dugout the other day to try and spark the team. The Cubs have lost their 7 last series. They look like they're going through the motions. It's kind of ugly right now. They have a great ERA, though, for the Cubs pitching staff, but they cannot put a win together. Dude was hot, screaming, wake the fuck up at his players in the dugout. Full blast, hot. So I guess my question is, what's the loudest, angriest talk you ever got from a player in the locker room? Not necessarily to you, but maybe to the team. And what games was it around? Was it like the playoffs?
Shit,
somebody come in and flip a damn table or something?
Yeah. It's been a lot from Vernon's, like outbreaks to Rick Fox outbreaks to Shaq's.
Rick Fox outbreaks?
Yeah. Well, Rick was, Rick, he was like trying to motivate, but at the end he started crying, and stuff like that. And but the funny one, there was never one on the Spurs. It's always been
they
Pop,
seemed always like a pretty even
but
keel group.
the funniest one though, it happened to me in college where we had lost to Auburn when I was out. I only lost one time to Auburn, and it was in Auburn. We get off the bus and we get out of the gym, and it's fucking snowing in Alabama. It's snowing hard, and we drove to Auburn, so it took us like 8 hours to get back home. And the thing is, when you lose, it's an unwritten rule that you don't talk. Think about this. After the 8 hours on the fucking bus, you eventually start talking, right? And Wimp was so fucking mad. He thought it was an empty bag, but it had some, like, I don't know what was it, but it was something heavy. So he kicked the fucking bag and he flipped over the cooler. But the cool thing is when he flipped over the cooler, He landed on his feet and ran back there and started cussing everybody. You motherfuckers, you just fucking lost to Auburn. When we get back to fucking campus, every one of you motherfuckers better be in the fucking gym and we gonna fucking practice harder than we ever motherfucking have. We all like, damn, coach, that's a lot of motherfuckers. So
Damn.
we get back to the gym. And, this is we had to go to practice, man. Right when we got back off that 8-hour bus ride,
And get back out
and I'm
there
like, "Are you
to it.
serious right now, dude?"
Come on. Question from Keith. The first trailer has dropped for Gladiator 2. And while
Has it?
Denzel looks dope,
Yeah.
I never really liked the first one as much as everyone else did. Is there a movie or a show that everyone was super into that you never understood or got the hype about?
Is there a movie or a show that everyone was
Yeah.
okay.
Like everybody loves it, but you don't get it.
What's the one where the dude has the curly hair with the white T-shirt on with the jeans? He's dancing on stage.
No, Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite. That's the
Great
one.
movie.
See, everybody loved the movie.
Great
I'm
movie.
like, this
so
is some
quirky and
bullshit here.
stupid and weird. But I'm quirky and stupid and weird. So for me, it landed.
I am too, but that one I just didn't get.
I've got mine's easy for me.
Which one's
Avatar.
that?
Avatar.
Which one?
Avatar, the movie.
Didn't even watch the second one. And I thought the first one was just okay. I thought it was okay. It was a good movie. It wasn't terrible. But
Yeah.
people like worship at the altar of this movie, and I don't get it. They built an Avatar land in freaking Hollywood Studios in Disney World, and I'm like, movie wasn't that great.
I think with that
That was
movie,
okay.
I think with those movies, it's more so the visual. Like the visuals.
Yeah, I
have
get
to
it.
be great.
Effects.
I get it. And Cameron even said he wrote the movie like 20 years ago, and he had to sit on it.
Right.
Because he had to wait until technology caught up with him to make the movie. Awesome. It's
But
just
you know, with
okay.
that movie, I think I went in with a mindset of I'm not gonna like this movie anyway, because when you think of Avatar, you think of the other they had to change their name.
Oh, The
to
Last Airbender. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the Avatar.
But that was a dope cartoon, man.
Yeah,
That was
and so I was like,
Nickelodeon
what
at
the
its
hell?
height.
That's not the. When it was like Avatar, I was like, oh, it's finally coming out. I was like, excited, like this ain't Avatar.
ain't
Fuck
no-
these blue people.
ain't no
Like, this
damn
is Smurfs on
McDonald's.
steroids.
Turned into Eddie Murphy on.
Trying to see, is there a show? I think the reason why this is difficult for me because a lot of the shows that I think people hype up, I've never seen at all anyway. Like, so they could have a
Fast
good
and
reason for
Furious.
hyping. Like, I've never watched an episode of Game of Thrones. I've never watched.
haven't?
No, I have never watched an episode of Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is good. But see, here's the thing, though. Stranger Things is good probably to me and Rob because it's more of harkens back to the 80s. Like, it's got a whole 80s undertone.
Yeah.
So to me, it feels like the Goonies, and I loved the Goonies growing up. So if you weren't into, like, the 80s culture, then maybe Stranger Things doesn't land with you.
Got it.
What does Chunk say? Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys. That's Sloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Slaw?
Yeah, Sloth. That's what he teaches them. But no, I like Stranger, but I'm with you. I've never watched Game of Thrones.
I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones at all.
And it's
Game
not
of
that
Thrones
I don't.
good.
It at some point, certain shows become what is it? 8 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's such an
so
investment.
much.
It's
But if
and they're
you
like
like-
hour and a half episodes. I'm like, this is such.
It's just an hour. But if you like The Hobbit,
Yeah, I like that.
Lord of the
you
Rings.
would
is-
like Game of Thrones.
Okay. I guess it's like Rob said, it's just become so much now, and it's accumulated. Most people like when it's a new show they run across and it's 3 or 4 seasons. Like most people like to kind of hunker down and watch. But now that this thing is 8 seasons, I need a whole week to watch this thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to do nothing
Nobody's
else.
telling you to watch it in one day.
No, what I'm saying is just
Rob is just saying if you've watched Lord of the Rings and thought this needs more titties, you need to watch Game of Thrones.
But in Game of Thrones, it's so funny. The first season, they show her. But then the show took off so much and she got so much popularity, she's like, I'm not getting naked anymore. And you never see her titties again. So you don't see the titties.
Okay, well there you
Yeah.
go. So
Yeah.
all the more
But
reason
you-
not to stay with the show.
But I'm like, you talk about series. My wife got me watching The Bear right now. And I'm like, and it's
Okay,
so
I hear a
slow.
lot of hype about this.
I know it. And
There's
it's
the
so
show about
slow.
the guy who inherits the restaurant, and he's like a big popular like fine dining chef or something,
Yeah.
right?
But I do like the fact that the longest show has been only 31 minutes or something like that. So they're really short. They're
Yeah,
really
see,
quick.
I can kind of get with. My wife is, and I've never seen Breaking Bad, so me and my wife are watching Breaking Bad through right now, and that's a good show. But I can get with the fact that it's like, okay, it was made for television, so it's only 42 minutes. It's not a full hour.
I've never seen the last 3 episodes. I've watched every season, but I've never seen the last 3 episodes of Breaking Bad.
Seems like that's a weird place to stop a series.
It is.
The last
and I don't,
3 episodes. Like, you made it all the way to the finish line, and we're like, fuck it, I'm good.
I'm going to take a water
I'm going to take a load off. It's over here for about an hour. All right, last one. I hate the Mount Rushmore concept, but I thought this was kind of interesting. It was from Pardon My Take. They were talking about it across all sports, but I'll keep it to just the NBA. The Mount Rushmore of guys who've never won a title. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting at least.
That's kind of interesting.
Because I don't really like the whole, well, who's your Mount Rushmore of NBA players? Because it's impossible. But if you narrow it down to maybe like the 4 guys that are like the greatest players in your mind who didn't get the job done.
Charles and Patrick are number 1.
Those are the first immediate 2 that I had.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah, Reggie Miller.
Probably belongs up there. Mm-hmm. Karl Malone,
yeah, definitely. John Stockton, definitely. Because I think, and it goes out. Let's think about John Stockton and Reggie Miller. And Karl Malone, those 3 specifically, because, he had the scoring title forever, meaning Karl Malone. John Stockton had the assists. So those 2, like, you did all that work in the NBA and you don't have a title to show for it.
Yeah.
You talk about Reggie Miller, who was one of the greatest 3-point shooters ever played this game. You did all that shooting, but he didn't shoot you to a title. You got there once, but ran to Kobe and Shaq, and you didn't win. So, and for me, I just those 4 guys, Karl Malone, especially Patrick Ewing, and throw Charles in there, because I think Patrick and Charles, they got to the finals. All those guys got to the finals. Now that I think about it. And they never won it.
Gary Payton? Well, Gary Payton won one.
Gary Payton has a chip with Miami Heat.
Okay, you're right.
That's good. Well, again, it's the only qualification is you didn't get it done. It doesn't matter what kind of part you had in it.
Yeah.
But you never got there.
Yeah.
I think those 5 are tough to pick 4 specifically. It's for me, Stockton and Malone feel like they're one piece though, because they were just playing together for their whole careers. So but yeah, I agree. I don't know if I could pluck. Like, is there any modern day guy that Harden isn't on this list yet? Is he?
No, because he's still playing. Anybody still playing, I can't really point him. Like, the only guy would be Chris Paul.
Yep.
Because if you talk about everybody that's in the league right now, Chris Paul is the only guy, because you think about it, up 3-1. You right there about to win. You pull a hamstring. You every time you right there,
something goes terribly wrong.
Phoenix.
Yeah, you come in with the hot hand, the number 1 seed, you lose. Yeah. Okay. I feel like if Harden continues, though, he's gonna eventually he may end up on this list.
Because he's gonna end up on this list.
I wouldn't put him on that list, because you think about how many he's been to the finals once when he was young, but he's never really been on teams where you can be like, he
keeps moving to teams that are finals contenders that don't get there.
Yeah, but they always be hurt. Think about it, he got hurt. Well, if you put Harden on, you definitely got to put Westbrook on there too then.